Reading lesson, The Astronomy Project. Mrs. Lindsay was everyone's favorite teacher at Lincoln Elementary School. She was known for her entertaining teaching techniques. One day, she walked into the classroom and announced to the class that they would all be seeing stars in the futures. She then asked, "Does anyone know what astronomy is?" Olivia raised her hand and said, "I'm a Libra." Mrs. Lindsay responded, "I can understand why you would think that astrological signs are part of astronomy, because astrology and astronomy both deal with celestial beings. In fact, many of the constellations in the sky have given their names through astrological signs." Mrs. Lindsay then went on to explain that astrology is the belief that the location and movement of stars and planets affect the way events transpire on Earth, which is why horoscopes are based on astrological signs. Astronomy, however, is a branch of science that deals with celestial bodies, the universe as a whole, and space. We are going to be learning about astronomy in this unit, and that is why you will be seeing stars in your future. "I love looking at the stars at night," said Olivia. When Mrs. Lindsay asked who else liked looking at stars, everyone in the class raised their hands. She then passed out star charts and asked the class to look at the sky that night and record the visible constellations. The next day in class, everyone was super excited to share their observations. "I saw Ursa Minor," announced Andrew enthusiastically. "So did I," said Olivia. "It looks like a dot-to-dot ladle." "That's great," responded Mrs. Lindsay. "And did you know that Ursa Minor is also called the Little Dipper because it looks like a ladle?" "Isn't there a Big Dipper too?" asked Tim. "Yes, there is, and it is called Ursa Major," said Mrs. Lindsay. Mrs. Lindsay then asked the class if they would like to become part of the galaxy. They all agreed that that sounded like a fun idea, but they wondered how it would work. Mrs. Lindsay explained that she would assign each student a constellation and that they would each make a poster board illustration of their constellation over the weekend. From there on, she said, it will be a surprise. She passed out one poster board and one glow-in-the-dark marker to each student and wished them all a good weekend. When the students got to class Monday morning, they were brimming with enthusiasm. Mrs. Lindsay used a poster board to demonstrate to the students how she wanted them to punch two holes at the top of their poster boards and then weave a piece of string through the holes to form a necklace so that they could hang their constellations around their necks and wear them. After the students have completed constructing their wearable constellations, they donned them and waited to see what would happen next. Mrs. Lindsay arranged the students around each other in a similar fashion to the way the constellations appeared on the constellation chart. Next, she closed the blinds and turned off the lights. She asked them to circle around the classroom while making individual motions as they want. They had now become the constellations dancing in the nighttime sky. "Awesome! We can all see each other glowing and moving around just like the stars do," the students said in unison. All the students agreed that it was their favorite lesson so far that year. They especially liked the fact that Mrs. Lindsay had recorded their version of the constellations so they could watch it over again and show it to their parents. 1. Select the best synonym for the word technique. A. Talent. B. Problem. C. Method. Or D. Delivery. Answer it now. The correct answer is letter C. Method. Number 2. What are celestial bodies? Answer it now. The answer is, celestial bodies are the stars, planets, comets, and other bodies in the universe. Number 3. Based on context, what do you think a constellation is? Answer it now. The correct answer is, a constellation is a group of stars forming a recognizable pattern. Number 4. Why would Mrs. Lindsay want to keep the rest of the Galaxy project a surprise? Answer it now. The correct answer is, Mrs. Lindsay wanted to keep the rest of the Galaxy project a surprise as she wanted to keep the suspense, whilst the students completed their individual constellation projects. 5. What do you think the word dawn means? Answer it now. The answer is, dawn means to put on. The children put on their wearable constellations. Number 6. Why would Mrs. Lindsay have had the students circle the room? Answer it now. The answer is, Mrs. Lindsay had the students circle the room to imitate the constellations dancing in the nighttime sky.